Happy Friday, guys. Moving on, so where we left off, and Crenshaw had his magical way of bringing Marisol and Jackson back together, and it ended with her saying, like, oh, Crenshaw's a good name for a cat. So that mind-blowing, like, how'd she know? So we're going to go on with chapter 38. I crossed the street twice. I looked back twice. Marisol waved. Crenshaw. It must have been written on the bottom of the statue, but my teacher or my mom or me, but I don't think any of us did it. There's always a logical explanation, I told myself. Always. That night I sat on my mattress staring at what was left of my bedroom. My old bed, shaped like a red race car, the one I'd outgrown ages ago, was in pieces. A sticker on the headboard said $25 or best offer. Dents in the carpeting hinted at what used to be there. A cube where my nightstand should have been, a rectangle where my dresser once stood. My mom and dad came in after Robin was asleep. How you doing, bud? My dad asked. Definitely roomier, huh? And it's like camping out, I said. Without the mosquito, said my mom. She handed me a plastic mug of water. I kept it by my bed in case I got thirsty in the middle of the night. She'd been doing that for a long time. The mug, which had a faded picture of Thomas the Tank Engine on it, was probably nearly as old as I was. My dad touched the mattress with his cane. Next bed, let's make it more serious. Not a race car, my mom nodded. Maybe a Volvo, said my dad. How about just a bed, I asked. Absolutely. My mom leaned over and combed her fingers through my hair. A bed. We'll probably make some bucks at the sale, my dad said. So there's that. They're just things, my mom said quietly. We can always get new things. It's okay. I like all this space, I said. I think Aretha does too. And Robin can practice batting without knocking over things. Both my parents smiled. For a few moments, neither of us spoke. All right, we're out of here, my mom finally said. As he turned to leave, my dad said, You know, you're such a big help, Jackson. You never complain and you're always ready to pitch in. We really appreciate that. My mom blew me a kiss. He's pretty amazing, she agreed. She winked at my dad. Let's keep him around. They closed the door. I had one lamp left. Its light carved a yellow frown on my carpet. I closed my eyes. I imagined our things spread out on the lawn tomorrow. My mom was right, of course. They were just things, bits of plastic and wood and cardboard and steel, bunches of atoms. I knew all too well that there were people in the world who didn't have Monopoly games or race car beds. I had a roof over my head. I had food most of the time. I had clothes and blankets and a dog and a family. Still, I felt twisted inside, like I'd swallowed a knotted-up rope. It wasn't about losing my stuff. Well, okay, maybe that was a little part of it. It wasn't about feeling different from other kids. Well, okay, maybe that was a little part of it too. What bothered me most, though, was that I couldn't fix anything. I couldn't control anything. It was like driving a bumper car without a steering wheel. I kept getting slammed and I just had to sit there and take it. Bam! Were we going to have enough to eat tomorrow? Bam! Were we going to be able to pay the rent? Bam! Would I go to the same school in the fall? Bam! Would this all happen again? I took deep breaths in and out, in and out. My fists clenched and unclenched. I tried not to think about Crenshaw on the TV or the dog cookie I'd stolen. Then, just the way I'd taken that cookie without understanding why, without thinking about the consequences, without any reason, I grabbed my mug and hurled it against the wall. Bam! It splintered into shards of cracked plastic. I liked the noise it made. I waited for my parents to return, to ask what's wrong, to yell at me for breaking something, but no one came. Water trickled down the wall, slowly fading like an old map of a faraway river. He's finally letting his emotions truly show. He's keeping it all bent up inside, pretending he's fine and he can take it, and he can't. I woke in the night, sweaty and startled. I'd been having a dream, something about a giant talking cat with a bubble beard. Oh. Aretha, who likes to share my pillow when she can get away with it, was drooling onto the pillowcase. Her feet were dream-twitching. I wondered if she was dreaming about Crenshaw. She certainly seemed to like him. Wait, I felt my brain screech to a halt, like a cartoon character about to careen off a cliff. Aretha had seen Crenshaw. At the very least, she reacted to him. She tried to lick him. She tried to play with him. She seemed to know he was there. Dogs have amazing senses. They can tell when a person is about to have a seizure. They can hear sounds when we can only silence them. They can unearth a piece of hot dog buried at the bottom of a neighborhood trash can. But however amazing dogs can be, they cannot see somebody's imaginary friend. They cannot jump into their own brains. So, did that mean Crenshaw was real, or was Aretha just responding to my body language? Could she tell I was freaking out, or did she figure I'd come up with a brand new game called Let's Play with the Giant Invisible Cat? I tried to recall how she acted back when we were in our minivan. Had she sensed Crenshaw then? I couldn't remember. I didn't want to remember. I covered my face with my drooly pillow and tried to go back to sleep. Ribbit said something. I opened my eyes. A frog was on my forehead. He looked familiar, like the windowsill visitor Crenshaw had wanted to eat. I turned my head and the frog leapt off. Next to me lay a human-sized cat. On top of Crenshaw lay a medium-sized dog. And on top of Aretha sat the frog. 2 of the 3 things were snoring. I sat on my elbows. I blinked again. I left the window ajar. That explained the frog. Did not explain the cat. You're back, I said. Morning, Crenshaw murmured, his eyes still closed. He wrapped his paws around Aretha, snuggling close. Just tell me this, I said. I crawled off my mattress and stretched. How do I get rid of you for good? I'm here to help you, Crenshaw said. He yawned. His teeth were like little knives. He pulled at one of Aretha's velvety ears over his eyes to block out the sun. What did you mean about telling the truth? Truth is important to you, said Crenshaw, so it's important to me. Now please allow me to continue my slumber. Are you my conscience? I asked. That depends. Would you like me to be? I checked my closet just in case there was a giant invisible possum or gopher or something lurking there. No, I said. I'm managing just fine on my own. Oh, really? Said Crenshaw. What's that abominable dog treat lying on the floor? A cookie. Aretha still hadn't eaten it. I tossed it out my window. Maybe squirrels wouldn't mind eating something stolen. Remember when you stole the yo-yo back when you were 5? Crenshaw asked. When my parents caught me, I tried to blame you. Everyone always blames their imaginary friend. Then my parents made me take it back and apologize to the store. I think you see where this is going. Another yawn. Now, if you don't mind, I'll be taking a little cat nap. I stared at him. He made me feel mystified and annoyed and more than a little crazy. And now he was making me feel guilty. One way or another, I had to get him out of my life. By the way, I said before leaving the room, you're hugging a dog. I didn't see what happened next, but I heard a hiss and a yowl. Aretha dashed past me at high speed. She hid under the kitchen table for an hour. Selling your stuff at a yard sale is a weird experience. It's like walking around with your clothes on inside out. Underwear on top of jeans, socks on top of sneakers. The insides of your apartment are spread out in front of everyone else. Strangers finger the lamp that used to be on your bedside table. Sweaty guys sit in your dad's favorite chair. Little stickers are on everything. $5 for your old tricycle that had sparklers on the wheels. 50 cents for the Candyland game. It was a sunny Sunday morning. Lots of neighbors were selling stuff too. It almost felt like a party. My mom sat at a card table with a little box to hold money. My dad walked around while people bargained with him and said how about $2 instead of $3. When he got too tired to walk, he sat in a folding chair and played songs on his guitar and sang. Sometimes my mom would sing harmony. My main job was to carry stuff to people's cars and to keep an eye on Robin. She was pulling someone's old wagon that had a $4 sign taped to it. And the wagon was her trash can with her blue bunnies, which my parents had promised she could keep. It wasn't so bad watching our things get sold. I told myself that every dollar we made was a good thing and that it was all just meaningless stuff. It was nice to be with our neighbors and friends, drinking lemonade and talking and singing along with my parents. Around noon, we'd sold almost everything. I watched my mom count up the money we made. She looked over at my dad and shook her head. Not even close to what we need, she said quietly. Before he could respond, a skinny man with a ponytail approached my dad. He pulled out a fancy leather wallet and asked my dad if his guitar was for sale. My mom and dad exchanged a glance. It could be, I suppose, said my dad. I have one that's for sale too, my mom added quickly. It's back in the apartment. My dad held up his guitar. Sunlight darted off its smooth black body. It's a beauty, said my dad. A lot of history. Dad, I exclaimed, you can't sell your guitar. There's always another guitar around the bend, Jax, said my dad, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. Robin ran over. She was still towing the wagon, which nobody had bought. You can't sell that. It's named after Jackson. Actually, I said, I was named after the guitar. It doesn't matter. Robin's eyes welled with tears. That's a keepsake for keeping. Here, you can have my trash can for free, mister, instead. She thrust her trash can into the skinny man's hands. It's a dynamite trash can, sweetie. I really like the bunnies, but I'm more in a market for a guitar. No guitars. No way, Robin said. My dad gave the man a helpless shrug. I'm sorry, man. You heard the lady. Tell you what, though. Why don't you give me your phone number in case we have a change of heart? I'll walk you to your car." Together, my dad and the man headed towards a sleek black car. My dad's left foot dragged a little. Sometimes that happens with MS. They exchanged scraps of paper, talked and nodded. The skinny man drove off, and I had a feeling that my dad's change of heart had already happened. About an hour later, our landlord came by our apartment. He had an envelope in his hand. He hugged my mom and shook my dad's hand and said he wished things could be different. I knew what the paper was because I could see the words at the top. It said final eviction notice, which meant we had to leave. My dad leaned against the wall. There wasn't anywhere to sit anymore. "Kids, looks like we're going to be taking a little drive." "To Grandma's?" asked Robin. "Not exactly," said my mom. She slammed a cupboard door shut. My dad knelt down next to Robin. He had to use his cane to keep steady. "We have to move, baby, but it will be fun, you'll see." Robin's eyes bored into me. "You told me it'd be okay, Jax. You lied." "I didn't lie." I lied. "This isn't Jackson's fault, Robin," my mom said. "Don't blame him, blame us." I didn't want to hear any more. I ran to my room. Crenshaw was lying on my bed. I sat next to him, and when I buried my head in his fur, he didn't object. He purred loudly. I cried a little, but not much. There wasn't any point. Once I read a book called Why Cats Purr and Other Feline Mysteries. Turns out nobody knows for sure why cats purr. It's surprising how much stuff adults don't know. Your heart breaks for them. The fact that they try and they just can't make ends meet, it's really frightening, and a lot of us are very lucky to have the things we have. So enjoy your weekend. We'll read more next week. Bye.